The US government is now guaranteeing a 50% return for 69 million investors, not through capital appreciation, but by a much more creative avenue. In 2027, you may be eligible for the federal government to deposit money directly into your retirement account. Not a tax credit, not a deduction, not a refund you have to wait for. A direct deposit from the US Treasury straight into your IRA or 401k. And right now, almost nobody knows it's coming. Here's the problem it's solving. If you're working a job right now and you're not putting money away into your retirement account, you're probably not doing it because you can't afford to. Rent is up, groceries are up, and the idea of locking money away for 40 years when you need it today feels impossible. And Congress has known now about this problem for years. In fact, since 2002, there has been a law on the books specifically designed to give low and moderate income workers a tax benefit for saving for retirement. It's called the Savers Credit. It's existed for over 20 years. So why haven't you heard of it? Why aren't you using it? Because it was broken by design. And in 2022, Congress admitted that and replaced it with something fundamentally different. The problem is the replacement doesn't go live until 2027. And between now and then, almost no one's preparing for it. That ends today. Stay with me because I'm also going to show you exactly how the old version failed. And when you see how badly it was designed, you'll understand why what's coming in 2027 is genuinely different. Let me show you the old law first, because understanding why it failed is the whole story. The Savers Credit gave low and moderate income workers a tax credit when they contributed to a retirement account. Sounds good, right? Here's the problem. It was non-refundable. That word, non-refundable, is doing a lot of damage in one syllable. A non-refundable tax credit can only reduce the taxes you owe down to zero. If you owe $500 in federal taxes and you get $500 credit, great, but you pay nothing. But if you owe zero taxes, which is where most very low income workers end up, the credit is worth exactly nothing to you. You can't claim it, it just disappears. The people who need it most, the low earners, the workers with the fewest savings, were precisely the people the math excluded. In 2021, less than 6% of eligible taxpayers claimed the Savers Credit. And those who did got back less than $200 on average. 20 years of law that almost no one used. That's the old system. Now here's what Congress replaced it with. Section 103 of the Secure 2.0 Act, signed December 2022, creates what's called the Savers Match. And the mechanics are completely different. Instead of a tax credit, which you might not be able to use, the government makes a direct matching contribution into your IRA or retirement account. The same way your employer matches your 401k contributions, except it's the federal government doing the matching. The match is 50 cents for every dollar you put in, up to $2,000 contributed. So the maximum the government deposits in a single year is $1,000 per person. For a married couple filing jointly, both contributing, that's $2,000 a year deposited directly into your retirement accounts by the federal government and on top of whatever your employer already contributes. Now here's the number that changes the story entirely. The old Savers Credit was non-refundable. The Savers Match is fully refundable. That means if you owe zero federal income taxes, you still get the deposit. The match happens regardless. That one change is the entire difference between a law that helped almost nobody and a law that could change retirement savings for an entire generation. Well, who qualifies? For the full match, single filers need to earn under about $20,500 a year. Married couples filing jointly under $41,000. But there's a gradual phase out as income rises and it disappears entirely above $35,500 for single filers and $71,000 for married couples. According to the Employee Benefit Research Institute, approximately 69 million workers with W-2 income would have met the income eligibility criteria based on historical IRS data. 69 million people. Now here's where things get interesting and where most people will miss it. The Savers Match is a matching contribution. That word matching matters. The government matches what you put into it, which means you have to put something in first. If you contribute nothing, you get nothing. Here's the actual mechanism. You contribute to your retirement account, you file your tax return and claim the match. The IRS processes it. The Treasury Department then deposits the match directly into your designated retirement account. The first deposits are expected in early 2028 for contributions made during 2027. One more interesting thing to understand: the match is not taxed when it arrives, it goes clean in. When you withdraw in retirement, you'll pay income tax on the same way a traditional IRA or 401k works. But the growth between now and then, tax deferred the whole way. Now here's the catch: employer-sponsored plans, your 401k at work, don't have to accept the Savers Match contribution. It's not mandatory for your plan administrators. If your employer's plan doesn't accept it, you'll need to designate a separate IRA to receive the match. The government will deposit there instead. This is exactly the same bottleneck we saw with the student loan match. The law is live, the money is allocated, but the infrastructure is still being built. The difference this time is that you will have until 2027 to prepare. Think about someone specific for a second. A warehouse worker, 40 hours a week, $32,000 a year, about $80 left after rent, bills, and groceries. Every article they've ever read about retirement saving assumes they have money to spare. They don't. So they've mentally filed retirement savings under things that are for other people, not out of laziness, out of arithmetic. The Savers Credit, the old version, didn't help people like that because it was structured as a tax reduction, and they didn't owe enough tax for the reduction to even matter. The system told them to save while simultaneously designing a benefit they couldn't access. The Savers Match is a structural change to that exit. For the first time, the math actually works for the lowest income earners. A worker making $28,000 who puts in $500 a year to a Roth IRA now gets a $250 government match on top of it. That right there is the 50% guaranteed return I spoke about earlier. This happens before the market even moves a dollar. No investment product in the world offers a guaranteed 50% return. The government just built one into the tax code, and 69 million people can benefit from it. Here's the pattern, here's what you can do with it. Congress builds tools for people who need them most, then designs them in a way that requires financial literacy to find and use. The people with financial literacy don't need the tools. The people who need the tools don't have the literacy. The gap between the two is where the money just disappears. Here's what you can do right now. First, check your income. If you're a single filer under roughly $36,000 or a married couple under $71,000, you're likely in the qualifying range for at least a partial match. Second, open a Roth IRA if you don't have one. You don't need much to start. Many custodians let you open one with as little as $1. The point is to have the account ready. You only need to contribute $2,000 per year to get the full match. That's $167 a month. Third, tell someone. The IRS is legally required under Section 104 of Secure 2.0 to actively promote this. But based on the history of the Savers Credit, the outreach will be limited. Word of mouth will do more than any government PSA. This is the same bill that had the student loan match buried inside it. The same bill that created the HSA expansion and half a dozen other provisions most people will never find. The law is written, the money is allocated. The only thing standing between a generation of workers and a guaranteed 50% on their savings is the conversation that hasn't happened yet. You just had it.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet.
I like it.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet.
Boom.
Sweet.